Welcome back. Now, on our next story, we will be talking about an event that happened not last weekend, but the weekend before it, which is D23 in Brazil. Yes, Disney hosted a D23 in Brazil, apparently. Like, I am aware that they do so in Japan, and of course, you got Anaheim as well, but apparently Brazil would get one as well. And in terms of what they have revealed there, it's nothing as major compared to the one that we have gotten in the summer. At the most, they would go and expand upon what has already been revealed. Like they have, excuse me, folks, but they have shown a lot of new images for the third Avatar movie that I remember. It is actually where they actually premiered the final trailer of Mufasa the Lion King. And I do believe they also showed that one extra image of Stitch for the upcoming Lilo and Stitch remake. And also they expanded a bit on what to expect just a little bit on the upcoming Villains Land in the Magic Kingdom, highlighting some of the villains that will be prominently featured in the area. But out of all the announcements and all the things that they have discussed about, the biggest one of them all is honestly one that is pretty shocking. The most unexpected. One that people thought this wouldn't make a comeback. You'd think that it's all officially over. But oh no, apparently there's a lot more stories to tell with Ice Age. Yes, folks. Ice Age is going to be coming back with a 6th movie. Now, before I continue, I just want to go and answer the question. Now, I know some people might be thinking, well, isn't there already a 6th Ice Age movie? You know, back a couple of years ago, they released that Buck Wild spin-off film that starred Crash and Eddie and also featured Buck Wild doing their little shenanigans and stuff like that. Well, technically, yes. But I'll say now that Disney is actually doing a good thing with this, and that is to not acknowledge that movie. I mean, that thing was so terrible that it's honestly understandable why they would not want to count this as a 6th movie, or they don't want to count that as part of the canon of Ice Age at all. So that's one thing I'll give Disney credit for, is give this, to give the upcoming feature the credit of being the 6th movie instead of the Buck Wild garbage right there. But anyways, going back to what I was talking about, not a lot is actually known about this feature in particular. The only thing that they have confirmed is that Disney is indeed going to be working on the 6th Ice Age movie, and it's going to be brought to us by both Disney and 20th Century Animation. And on top of that, they have confirmed 5 main actors who will be featured in this movie, in which, unlike the adventures of Buck Wild, they are going to be bringing back the original cast, in which it is stated right over here, in my source on Variety, by the way, in a video announcing the sequel, Ray Romano, John Leguizamo, Queen Latifah, Dennis Leary, and Simon Pegg, who have all led the voice cast of the family franchise, announced that they are coming back for a new adventure. The film is currently in production. So that's pretty much the main thing that we do know about Ice Age 6. Specifically with those cast members and their respective characters are going to be coming back. Now, recently, however, not long after the big reveal, we have also gotten information in terms of its release date, where originally they were planning at the end of 2026 to go and release a new Star Wars movie. Considering that, by the way, just want to say right now, this does not include the Mandalorian and Grogu, which that is still set, I believe, in May of 2026. That's still going to be happening. But in terms of this Star Wars film in particular, they decided to go and take out that release date and instead give it to Ice Age 6, where now the sixth Ice Age movie is confirmed to come out on December 18th, 2026. And by the way, in terms of that Star Wars movie, we don't know what it is specifically. Some have speculated that maybe it is the continuation of Rey's story from the sequels trilogy. But again, we don't know if it's actually true. So in terms of that second Star Wars movie, we don't know what's going to be going on with that. All we know is that now its release date is going to be replaced with Ice Age. So yeah. Now we know who's going to be in the movie and when it's going to be coming out, and the fact that it's going to be a sixth Ice Age movie. So yeah, another Ice Age movie. We're going to go to the adventures of Sid and Manny and Diego again. Why? Why is it that we got to bring this back? I feel like out of all the big name animated franchises out there, Ice Age is the one that you would think it is done. Like 100% over. Like no way that they could ever come back. Considering that not only did it ran its course, not only did it have like a full definitive conclusion, but also the studio that is known to have created the franchise is gone. We don't have Blue Sky Studios anymore. When you say Blue Sky nowadays, you don't think of the animation studio. You think of the superior Twitter app. You think of the social media. That's pretty much it. Like, why suddenly decide to bring back Ice Age again? It honestly makes no sense. And not to mention the fact that it's going to be coming out in 2026, which we're already getting old computer animated franchises coming back in that year. Apparently, that's going to be the major theme of 2026. Because on top of Ice Age, we're also going to be getting Shrek 5 and Toy Story 5, both of which are going to be released very close to one another. And the crazy thing is that with Shrek 5, with Shrek 5, I'll say now, okay, I get it. It's been a long time since we've had the last Shrek movie, and the interest of bringing back Shrek really came back after the big critical and commercial success of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I mean, if that movie turned out to be absolutely beautiful, then the chance of that being brought into a fifth Shrek movie, that can have a lot of potential. I get it. Okay. Even Toy Story 5, then I understand why they would want to bring that back. I mean, with Toy Story 5, like, you think about Toy Story 4, and yeah, sure, you could argue that it is unnecessary, but it is still a very well-made movie that I would argue is about as good as the previous 3 films. So if Pixar can find a way to go and like bring back Toy Story after a long time, then you might as well go and like do it again. Like if you could make it as good as Toy Story 4, honestly, I am so down for it. Not to mention that you also have Andrew Stanton, who's going to be directing it, and that guy has been with the franchise since the very beginning. So there is a possibility that it could still turn out to be fantastic. But with Ice Age, on the other hand, I cannot think of one good reason why we should go and bring this back. Because, oh my goodness, I remember the days when Ice Age would keep coming into theaters again and again and again, and with each sequel that they would go and bring out, it would just get worse and worse. I mean, yeah, it did get a bit better with Dawn of the Dinosaurs, which was a pretty fun movie, but then you would get Continental Drift, which wasn't that good, and then Collision Course just sealed the deal, and audiences just said, okay, you know what? We're done. We don't want any more Ice Age movies, period. Especially when that 5th movie was just god awful. Oh my goodness. I would even put it up there among one of the worst animated sequels ever created. And then there is the factor of Scrat Tales. Now, the reason why I bring up Scrat Tales, which is like these short little animated, these little cartoons starring Scrat and like a baby prehistoric squirrel, like just doing their little shenanigans. And you can find them on Disney Plus, by the way. The reason why I bring that up is that I feel like that actually gave the franchise and Blue Sky Studios the proper conclusion that it needed. I would even say that Scrat Tales is the best thing from both Blue Sky and the Ice Age franchise since the first movie. Like, they're just a lot of fun. They stick to the usual Looney Tunes style cartoon shtick that actually works pretty well. And even that ending, like, it's perfect. Like, ultimately, all it is just Scrat finally eating his acorn. Like, he finally has it and he's done. I feel, it's like the proper, it feels like the perfect, proper conclusion after like all the shenanigans that Scrat would go throughout those features. And finally, he got his reward and it's done. It feels like the perfect way to go and cap off that studio and to cap off the franchise as a whole. It's honestly great. We don't need to see any more of like any of Scrat's shenanigans or any of the Ice Age shenanigans after we see like, okay, well, the thing that Scrat was running around for the most, like he finally got to go and do it. We don't need anything else after that. And then there is the factor of Blue Sky Studios where they shut down. The studio no longer exists anymore. The people who created the Ice Age franchise, they moved on to do other stuff. Like, maybe I could understand if you're going to go and like get some of those same people to bring them back together and like, get to work on that franchise. Okay, that could be something, but still though, it honestly feels weird that now you're going to continue that franchise without the studio that created Ice Age in the first place. And honestly, I just got to say that, I remember I talked with a friend of mine about this. We've discussed about, okay, well, Blue Sky is gone. Then who else is going to make who else is going to make it? Because at the most, they didn't say who's going to be producing the sixth Ice Age movie. At the most, they just say that it's going to be from Disney and 20th Century Animation, which is honestly pretty vague. It doesn't specify if it's going to be an animation studio that will be working on it. Like, at the most, I can imagine that maybe they're going to go and hire one of those, like, overseas animation studios. Like, me and my friend, we have been discussing maybe it's going to be from DNEG Animation, the same people who did Nimona. Maybe they're going to go and do the animation. Or maybe I was thinking, well, maybe they're going to bring in, like, Real Effects, or maybe they'll bring in Cinesite. Maybe they'll be doing it. Basically, like, they're going to go and outsource it to Canada or something like that in order to go and produce that animation. But regardless, it honestly feels weird, especially with the fact that Blue Sky Studios is the flagship animation studio, is Blue Sky's flagship animation studio, and now it's going to be handed to someone else. Like, that in itself, and maybe that's just a problem for like animation enthusiasts like myself, there's just something weird about that. So really, I just don't see the point. Like, with all of these factors, I don't see why the fridge are we going to bring this back. Like, why do we need to go and have another Ice Age adventure again? However, there is one thing that I do have to say, that maybe, just maybe, there could be that small chance that it could actually turn out to be good. Like, I know that with the unnecessary factor of this Ice Age movie, people don't want to go and watch it, Like, yeah, there's no argument that this is a very unnecessary thing for Disney to go and do, and I completely agree on that. But its chances of actually turning out to be worthwhile and enjoyable, they're actually, they're not zero. It's like, it's not impossible. It's not impossible that this could turn out to be good. And the one hope that I do have is when you look at the cast. Not specifically on who's going to be there, but who is not there. Because if you look at the list of the people that are coming back, of course, you got the main three with Ray Romano, John Leguizamo, and Dennis Leary. Okay, so Sid, Manny, and Diego are coming back. So that's a given. But then also, you got Queen Latifah as Ellie. She's coming back as well. And then finally, you also have Simon Pegg, who's going to be returning as Buck Wild. And so far, that's all we know. We don't have any of the other characters whom at the very least, they haven't been confirmed. You know, we don't have a confirmation about we don't have a confirmation about the other girlfriends. So we don't have that Jennifer Lopez tiger, or we don't have Sid's girlfriend from the fifth movie. There's no confirmation on those. We don't have a confirmation about Sid's grandma, played by Wanda Sykes. We don't know if she's going to be coming back. We don't have a confirmation on Manny's daughter, Peaches. We don't know if she's returning, let alone her fiance, Julian, who is basically the mammoth equivalent of Johnny from Hotel Transylvania. We don't know if he's coming back. And we don't have a confirmation if Crash and Eddie are going to be coming back. Now, I could be wrong, but if it's just these 5 main characters that are going to be coming back, and maybe the others are not returning, then maybe there could be a chance that it'll at least turn out to be better than some of the sequels. It will find a way to be a bit of an upgrade compared to Collision Course, or even Continental Drift, or even compared to the second film. There could be that possibility. It honestly reminds me of open season Scared Silly, where after they would make one bad sequel and another terrible sequel, suddenly they made Scared Silly, and they decided that whatever characters that they built for the sequels and stuff like that, they would just take it off and only stick to the main characters that have appeared in the first period. And from there, not only did Scared Silly actually turn out to be the best open season sequel, but it could debatably be said that it's the best open season movie, period. But then again, I understand if it's not a great argument because it is still open season, and Scared Silly is still not that great of a movie. It's not really that good. But still, though, the idea of taking away those unnecessary sequel characters, it actually does help things out to go and actually improve upon the feature. And if Ice Age can actually go and do that, then maybe it could actually improve upon the sequel. Now, if it were up to me, I would love it if they would just do a full clean slate and just have it be Sid, Manny, and Diego and the shenanigans of Scrat. I would love it if it were just that. But in this case, that's not, it ain't happening because they are also including Buck Wild and Ellie. But still, though, if they could get rid of many of those unnecessary sequel characters, then maybe we will have something worthwhile with this 6th movie. But again, that's only wishful thinking, and even if they do that, I don't know if it's really going to improve the movie significantly. I don't know. I'm just, as Deadpool says, I'm just making an educated wish. But overall, though, yeah, I'm not really thrilled about hearing the idea that they're making a 6th Ice Age movie. And while I do know that there might be a percentage that maybe it could turn out to be good, I just can't help but feel like this is just such an unnecessary move, much more so than Shrek 5 and Toy Story 5. So with that said now, I would like to go onto the chat wall, and I'd like to ask you all, what do you all think about the announcement of a 6th Ice Age movie? Are you guys interested to go and check this one out? Are you guys a bit more concerned about it? Let me know what you all think. All right, let's see now. Okay, positives first. On one hand, there is a slim chance that maybe this could be one of this could be the one to get the franchise back on its feet. On the other hand, dude, it's Ice Age 6, technically 7. The franchise fatigue hits harder than a cold brew when the fourth came out. So needless to say, I don't have high hopes. Maybe if they get one of the OG directors on board, like Chris Wedge or Carlos Saldana, well, if he's not too busy killing Zachary Levi's career, I'll be down for it. Otherwise, I'm not sold. Yeah, that's the one thing. Honestly, the one thing to help give some salvation to Ice Age 6 is if they do bring back one of the original characters. Disney needs to do like what they did with Toy Story 5 by bringing in Andrew Stanton as the director. But this time around, like, unless they don't, if they can have either Chris Wedge or Carlos Saldana be one of the directors, or have both direct the movie, then if they do that, then maybe it could have a chance to actually maybe be worthwhile. But other than that, though, yeah, like, honestly, why should they, like, it's at the point where we really need to go and question, why is there a sixth movie of anything? When a movie reaches number 6, that's when you have to raise, that's when you have to raise the red card and say, like, time out, this ain't working. Anyways, I have, and this is from someone who is literally called a Scrat fan. I have mixed feelings regarding this new Ice Age movie, and also, do we need this? I mean, Ice Age 5 is so bad when they ran out of ideas, so why do you make another one after Blue Sky shut down? The thing I like was bring back Scrat after the whole rights drama and the voice actors. I could give it a watch when it came out. Also, from the last story, there was a show that gone viral called Little Brown Bear from Canada, and this show is the next Caillou, but far worse than him and DW. Okay, honestly, I've never heard of Little Brown Bear, but all right. Anyways, look, I'll be straight to you on this. I'm not exactly big on having another sequel against the characters like Ice Age, and I agree 5 was enough after they did Buck Wild. Even I wanted to quit after that. There was a part of me that wonders how this will turn out without the studio. And after the comeback of other movies like Shrek, and the cast may be hopeful from Disney themselves to show how they would show these characters. Besides, they didn't say Crash and Eddie, so I believe this will be good. In fact, that's probably like a minimal thing for me personally to say that maybe this could be worthwhile. If they can exclude Crash and Eddie, like take them out of the movie, then maybe this could actually have something. Like, honestly, a lot of my problems with the Ice Age sequels have always been Crash and Eddie. They have been some of the worst cartoon characters to be featured in an animated movie. They've always been godforsaken annoying. And if they could take those out, then honestly, okay, maybe we could have something. We'll see. Give Sid back his title of being the comic relief. We don't need like a dozen of them. We just need one. Let's see what else we have here now. Well, we all know Ice Age is not leaving anytime soon, no matter how much we try to stop it. But, and this is a big but, if they bring back the baby, then I'll definitely see it. But as of now, I'll still give it a chance since I still love Sid, Diego, and Manny's relationship. Sadly, Blue Sky Studios is no longer with us, thanks a lot, Chapek. So yeah, 2026 is going to be a huge year for 2000s nostalgia animated films. Would they do an Encanto reference? Hopefully. Oh my god, that is true. Since like John Leguizamo is there, like I would love to see. I don't know if they could do like a direct reference, but I would love to see like Sid having a little moment where he would act like Bruno, like that. He would just be there, like what's wrong, guys? My real gift is acting. That would be like a nice little moment, or have him like interact with rats. Just going to like, why are all these rats like, why are these rats loving me? Like, what did I do? That would be cute. All right, I think I'll read one more comment and then we'll go on to our final break. Let's see here. I'm gonna be the unpopular one here. I know everyone in this chat hates the idea of Ice Age 6 existing, but I'm cautiously optimistic about how Disney will go. Yes, I know that Blue Sky isn't around anymore, but seeing how Disney released Fox IPs like Apes, Aliens, and Deadpool and Predator actually having a good response, I want to see how Disney will tackle a big screen Ice Age film, and nostalgia baited us with bringing us back the baby. The big question in my mind is, who's going to be animating the film? You know, that is one interesting argument that I will say that is kind of true. You gotta hand it to Disney that with the way they've been handling the Fox IP so far, rather it be like the Planet of the Apes films, like with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Predator, like what they recently did with Prey, Alien with their recent film, the new Alien movie, I think it's Alien Romulus, that's what it's called. And also, not to mention, with Deadpool especially, yeah, they've been doing a pretty solid job. So, yeah, okay, so it is Alien Romulus. So, yeah, like, if Disney can handle well with those 20th century franchises, maybe they can do a better job with Ice Age, or at least better than what they did with Buck Wild. So, there is that possibility. So, overall, I'm going to say, yeah, this is just absolutely unnecessary. But I do acknowledge that its chances of actually being good are not zero.